What it do, what it do, community, real talk with Uncle D. I'm Uncle D, where we talk about real stuff. So listen, I was at dinner last night and I was sitting next to a couple that, on first thought, first glance, looked like a attractive couple. But you know how in some restaurants, you're in the booth and you can pretty much hear everything that the person in the next booth is talking about. And as I'm eating, I hear her get, just a little loud. And so, that sparked my attention a little bit. But as I listened, I'm like, wow, she's talking real foul to dude. I mean, foul, and it started off with, just a word or two. And then I'm waiting for his response. And his response was, well, babe. And every time he hit her with the well, babe, she fired back at him. And I'm like, wow, okay. That stuck with me. And my thought was, dude, why are you sitting there in public, much less allowing this woman to talk to you like you a child? And at first I didn't know if it was her friend, maybe, with the oh babe, it could have been anything. But as I went to get my waiter's attention, I looked over and I can see they both were wearing rings. So what I would assume, that was his wife talking to him like he wasn't shit. And I even looked at him, trying to give him, transfer some sort of masculinity to him. Like, bruh, what are you doing? For real? And he looked up and we actually locked eyes for a quick second. But then he put his head down. And I knew at that moment that this woman had literally beat the life out of dude. Now, wait a minute, I take that back. One of two things is true, though, in that scenario. Either she's beat the life out of him, or she allowed herself to get into a relationship with a man that was already like that. Now, when we talk, because it's real talk, I like to get to the root of everything. And so therefore, those roots may go in all different directions. Now, one, if he was already like that, that speaks to the type of woman she is off the bat. That means she's a controlling, domineering type woman that wanted a weak man that she could control. And I don't know what other traits he may have had other than that would have attracted her to him, much less allow herself to put on his ring. Now, on the second, some men don't like drama. I know I don't. And rather than conforming to the man he should be, where his masculinity, if nothing else, comes to the forefront, he allowed her to beat him down. Maybe again because he didn't want the drama. And so there's other scenarios in that. We live in a society to this day that some women are the breadwinners in the relationship. And women, you take on this role of masculinity and empowerment and entitlement, and you beat your man down to the point that you let him know you're running things. You're the, the head bitch in charge. Your check is larger. He can step, he can bounce. And some women do this without actually knowing it, and some do it intentionally. You will beat your man down till he is nothing left. And then, even in the state of unmasculinity, even in the state of confusion, fear, anything that may be running through this man's mind, because he actually do love you. But he knows that if he speaks up for himself or fights back or whatever, you're going to just keep shoveling it. Now, I'm not making excuses for him by any means. But what I am saying is that women, wait, I'm going to pause you right there. Men, there's no way in hell. It's no way in hell that you should allow yourself to get to that weakened of a state. Now, unfortunately, some men resort to physicality. I mean, he may smack the shit out of her. Bow. He may grab her up. And as I don't condone either one of them, bruh, I'd rather see you grab her up in her chest and put her back in her place. Now, when I say that, put her in her place, women, don't lose your mind. Stay with me. But at least maintain your masculinity. Don't no real woman want a weak ass man. I don't care what anyone says. Don't no woman, ooh, girl, shit, I met me a weak ass man today. Don't nobody want that. You're not going to find a woman that'll go to her girlfriend and say, girl, I found me a fine ass weak dude today. No, that's not what happens. What they going to say is, girl, I found me a strong ass dude today. He's this and he's that. She going to speak about your uplifting qualities, not that meekness. You feel me? So with that being said, men, you have to maintain yourself. Now, we can say all day long, ladies, what you should do and how you should treat your man. But men, at the end of the day, you're the man. And if you can't maintain yourself, what the hell? I mean, unfortunately, in today's society, again, I keep coming back to today's society because a lot has changed in this new generation. And a lot of that has to do with the more mothers that have raised their sons, and then in this new society of, oh, don't chastise your kids and put them in timeout and all that. I mean, that's a whole different subject for a whole different day. But what it led to is a lot of unmasculine, unconfident men. A woman wants a man that's going to be confident and at the very least stay 10 toes down. Now, men, if that means If you're in a relationship and you don't have nothing but your duffel bag and a few little clothes you have, and maybe you moved in with baby because she is that breadwinner and she got a nice little crib, and but you see that she's gotten to that point of that control. She's gotten to that point of putting her authority on everything. You have to stop and you have to, hey, am I ready to sell out my manhood for this roof? And if you are, hey, by all means, run with it. But for those of you who want to maintain your man card, can't allow that. Now, there's a lot of different, again, avenues to this story and men maintaining your masculinity. I'm not telling you to be unemotional. I'm not telling you to be unempathetic to things that you and your girl may go through. I'm not telling you to even be at times subservient. See, it's a difference. You can be subservient to your girl. You can rub her feet. You can make dinner. You can massage her. You can do those sort of things and still maintain your man card. It's one that once a woman finds a weakness in you, she's going to exploit it. And we as men, women, you too, and this is actually for people in general, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to communicate with you. So if you allow someone to talk crazy to you one time, why can't they talk crazy to you a second time? If you allow a man to put his hands on you one time, what's wrong with him putting his hands on you a second time? You understand what I'm saying? You teach people how to treat you. And so keep in mind, remember when we talked about, is love worth fighting for? And we discussed how you treat one another and how you handle your business. So with that being said, you have to show your mate how you want to be treated. You have to show your mate the do's and don'ts of your relationship. And where I was actually going with that is, first and foremost, and no matter what, you have to learn to communicate. And if you're not telling this person off the bat that you don't appreciate the way they're speaking to you, that you don't appreciate how they're acting or what they're doing, who's to say it'll ever change? See, you think by being silent and just allowing the situation to continue, it'll just go, it'll pass. He or she is going through a phase. No, because I'm sure the woman that was berating her husband in the restaurant, it didn't start like that. Unless, again, like I said, she knew he was a weak you-know-what off the jump. And even then, I'm sure she didn't go up and approach him and say, honey, wow, dude, you look just like the type of weak-ass man I need in my life. She didn't do that. I can assure you she didn't do that. But at some point, that transition began. and he didn't put his foot down. And if he did, he didn't put it down hard enough for her to change the course that led them to that night sitting by me at the restaurant. So I want you guys to understand, and you ladies too. We spoke again about, is love worth fighting for? Well, in situations like this, you wouldn't have to fight for that love if you found the right love off the jump. You wouldn't be sitting in a restaurant in public with your wife berating you as if you were shit to her. You have to, men, maintain yourself. Now, like I said, I don't condone you putting your hands on your girl. And women, again, in this generation in society, you have a tendency of sticking your chest out. And you cuss your man, you talk foul to him. And because he don't slap your teeth out your mouth, you feel more emboldened to do it every day. Where did that begin, and why do you do that? I mean, I see it more and more out places. Like I said, I travel the country, the world, and unfortunately, I see more and more of that. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from? But you women feel, hey, more and more empowered. You have higher paying jobs. You're staying on your own. You have your own apartment, your own house. But then you're going through 3 and 4 different relationships every other year. Well, it's because of stuff like that. So I want to leave you guys with this. The root of this, just like the root of is love worth fighting for and any other main topic we will probably get into, is communication. Set your goals, your boundaries. You know, you go into relationships and you have no fucking idea of where you're going as a couple. Remember what I said, once you come together, you become one thought, one walk, one process. And if you're not aligned, your thought process is going this way, her thought process is going that way, and both y'all damn asses is going down the drain because it ain't aligned. You have to sit down. I'll give you one last example before I get out of here. My son and his girlfriend, they did a cute little board together. And I looked at them both at 17 years old. They were more mature than most adults I've seen. And what I mean by that is they were willing to sit down together and chart a course. Now, it was kiddie in nature, but they did it together. We can't do that. Hell, sometimes we can't even agree on breakfast, lunch, or dinner together. Give me your comments on this. Let's dive a little more into this. As usual, I need you to like, subscribe, share. I want your feedback and your comments. I'm going to continue to give you real talk with Uncle D, where we ain't going to fluff shit. We're going to talk real stuff. With that, I'm going to leave you guys to your day. I love you all. Hey, let's do this.